The Newsday continues here on One News Now. I'm Riza Diaz. The IATF has placed the 7 provinces back under Alert Level 2 beginning February 1st. Joining the capital region under the less strict COVID-19 status are Batanes, Bulacan, Cavite, Rizal, Biliran, Southern Leyte, and Basilan. Establishments and activities will be allowed at 50% capacity indoors and 70% outdoors for immunized adults and even minors. Meanwhile, the following areas will be placed under the stricter Alert Level 3 status. The respective alert levels shall be in full effect until February 15. Now, despite the high positivity rates, the OCTA research says Metro Manila, Cavite, and Rizal are now at moderate risk for COVID-19. According to OCTA's Professor Guido David, the moderate classification was based on the area's daily new cases, infection rate, and positivity rate, all of which have shown signs of decrease over the past week. With this, David noted that Metro Manila could improve to low risk within 2 weeks if the downtrend continues. David called on the public to continue following health protocols. Experts are now studying 2 Omicron sister variants. Johns Hopkins' Andrew Pikosh tells us what this could mean for the world's fight against the COVID-19 pandemic. Let's watch this.
I usually don't like to be the messenger telling people that there are new variants either, but the virus is sort of doing its own thing out there and evolving as we expected. So Omicron has I've heard it called a sister virus. It's called technically BA2, whereas Omicron that we've been struggling with is called BA1. It's different enough from the original Omicron so that we are a little bit worried about how well immunity cross-reacts to that virus. And it's certainly starting to spread now in the wake of that first Omicron going through the population. So all signs point that vaccines should work just as well against it. But again, it is increasing in numbers, so we're trying to monitor what disease severity will be and all those other factors to really get a sense of how much of an impact it might have.
Andy, where are the variants coming from? And I ask this meaning, what areas have the level of lack of immunity and also the level of transmission that would possibly lead to some of these variants?
Well, there are 3 variants that we call Omicron right now, all of which seem to have evolved around the same time in some part of southern Africa and all emerged around the same time. We saw one sweep through the world. We're seeing a second one coming through right now. So these Omicron variants all came up at the same time. What we're seeing, though, is, as expected, as this virus moves through the population, if it picks up a mutation that makes it a little bit better to infect or makes it a little bit more easier to infect vaccinated people, that virus will become the dominant virus eventually. And so we're seeing some of that right now. We have to remember there have been an amazingly large number of cases, and more cases equals more mutations equals more variants. So we're seeing some of the fallout from those huge numbers of cases in terms of new variants emerging and starting to spread.
Now, we'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Riza Diaz. Presidential aspirant and labor leader Leody de Guzman is joining us again via Zoom this afternoon to continue our discussion. Good afternoon, Leody. Leody, magandang hapon. Magandang hapon.
Magandang hapon, Riza.
Let's pick up, Leody, from our conversation. Tinatanong po kayo kung maaari niyo pong ibahagi sa amin sa a few words kung bakit po hindi dapat iboto itong mga kalaban po ninyo as President for May 2022 election. Simulan po natin siguro kay Vice President Leni Robredo.
Si Vice President, medyo sabit yung kanyang, hindi ako sang-ayon pala, doon sa kanyang analysis sa problema ng bansa at sa marami niyang solusyon. Dahil tingin ko, pagkasabit yung tingin sa problema, magiging sabit din yung solusyon. At tansya ko, pagpapatuloy din lamang kung anong programa ng mga nagdaang presidente ang kanyang gagawin dahil nakapatungkol pa rin doon sa tinatawag nating bang neoliberal na patakaran. Yung buhayin yung mga negosyante at pag-asa na pag yumaman ng mga negosyante, na puno yung bulsa nila ay aawas at makikinabang yung mga tao. Sa mahabang panahon, sa nagpalit-palit ng gobyerno, hindi naman nangyari yun. Kaya tingin ko, pagpapatuloy lamang ng programa ng dating mga administrasyon ang gagawin ni VP Leni.
Leody, how about for Senator Ping Lacson? Ano pong inyong masasabi?
Gusto ko ng lahatin sa kanilang lahat sila, mula kay VP Leni hanggang kay Marcos, ay pagpapatuloy lang lahat ng programa ng mga dating administrasyon. Yun ulitin ko lang, buhayin, suportahan ng todo yung mga negosyante, lalo na yung mga big business, at umasa na pag yumaman, ay makikinabang din ang tao. Lahat sila pare-pareho, magkakaroon lamang ng variation, pero generally, nakapatungkol pa rin doon sa mga pagpapatupad ng mga patakaran ng privatization, deregulation, liberalization, mga patakaran nagpapahirap sa mga mamayan at naglilegalize ng pagkakamal ng yaman ng mga big business tulad ng contractualization, price tarification law, yung taxation natin na VAT at saka train law, yung implementation ng Mining Act of 1995 na pinapayagan ang todo-todong pagmimina sa ating bansa. Ipinagkaloob yung 30% ng ating kalupaan doon sa mga miner. Yung coal mine, tuloy-tuloy pa rin. Yung mga bagay na yan ay walang mapapala ang ating mga mamayan dahil yan ay pabor doon sa mga big business at siyempre laban sa ating mamayan. Yun ang dahilan kung bakit hindi ko masusuportahan ang sino man sa kanila.
Leody, follow up lamang po kasi po si Senator Manny Pacquiao po, meron po siya mga plataforma para po sa mahihirap, para po makatulong sa kanilang pag-angat. Bakit po hindi dapat iboto ng taong bayan si Senator Manny Pacquiao?
May mga programa siya na para sa mga pabahay, nagsalita na rin siya tungkol doon sa yung sektor ng serbisyo ay kukunin. Maganda yon. Pero sa kabuuan, ay naka-framework pa rin siya doon sa pagsuporta sa mga big business. Generally, yung big business ang bubuhayin para sa pag-asa, pag yumaman sila, ay makikinabang din ang tao. Yun ang hindi ako doon sang-ayon. Isa pa, doon sa analysis din niya, sa problema ng bayan na matitigas ang ulo, hindi sumusunod sa batas, ay magkaiba rin kami ng aming paniniwala. Kasi paniniwala ko, ang problema natin ay yung mga nagpalit-palit na gobyerno sa ating bansa, mula kay Marcos hanggang kay Duterte, ang mga batas na ginawa at ang mga patakaran, even yung program, ay pabor sa mga big business at laban sa mga magsasaka, laban sa mga manggagawa, sa mga driver natin, sa mga mangingisda at sa kababaihan. Hindi ito nakapatungkol sa direktang pakinabang ng ating mamamayan. Mag-aantay lamang nung sinasabi ni Rizal na trickle down na hindi naman nangyayari sa mahabang panahon. Kaya kung sila ang mapopwesto, ang paniniwala ko, ipagpapatuloy lang yung dating mga batas at patakaran na nagpapahirap o naglilegalize sa paghihirap ng ating mga kababayan.
Leody, just one last question. Ito naman po, kung pwede niyo po sa aming sabihin, maybe in one sentence, kung ano po ang aasahan ng ating bansa kung sakaling kayo po ang manalo bilang president.
Nako, Riza, ang aking patakaran ay unahin ang buhay ng tao. Unahin ang tao bago ang tubo. Unahin ang kabuhayan at kagalingan ng ating mga mamayan. At huwag isapas sa kamay ng mga malaking negosyante ang kinabukasan ng ating bansa at ang kabuhayan ng ating mga mamayan. Yun ang aking pinapangako.
Maraming salamat po again for joining us. That was presidential candidate and labor leader Leody de Guzman.
Maraming salamat. Maraming salamat.
Meanwhile, Comelec Commissioner Rowena Guanzon is set to issue a subpoena for Marcos' camp legal counsel Atty. George Briones. Guanzon told One News Now that George Briones had no right to comment on Marcos' disqualification case, especially when it still is pending. With this, she added that a subpoena for Briones will be released on Monday, and if he will not abide, the commissioner said she will send him to jail.
I am now going to issue a subpoena to Atty. Briones to appear before me on Wednesday and show cause why he should not be cited for contempt for interfering with this case. He should better show his face there, or I will send him to Manila jail.
On now viral photos that allege Marcos Jr. is lying about his absence on his disqualification case hearing, Guanzon said that someone who has a knowledge on the matter should execute an affidavit so she can subpoena the presidential candidate as well.
I need somebody to execute an affidavit, how they acquired those pictures, so I can subpoena Marcos Jr. For him to show cause why he should not be held in contempt for lying to the commission.
Now, for more updates, visit News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World Online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on Signal Play app. Register for a free account now, www.signalplay.com, and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Riza Diaz. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We are One News.